Hey everybody, why am I smiling? Because I'm kind of in a good mood. Some good stuff has happened this week. Crappy stuff, but still good stuff. So, to celebrate my sort of happiness, let's go ahead and look back at some of my favorites. The last video I posted was about some of my least favorites in cinema. And boy oh boy was that fun. But let's go ahead and look back at some of my favorites. Let's try to get myself in the game. I want to bring my good mood and attention. So, first, some of my favorites. Let's take a look at their locations, Let's go ahead and dive into the actual worlds of those movies and where they are. And just glimpse through them some more. What I mean is, this is a list of my top 10 favorite movie locations. Places where each film is set. These are like my all-time favorite movies, yet they're the fun locations that they're set in. Like the little areas or countries or states, counties. Just the fun little locations where most of the film is filmed at, or is just the most popular location for that movie. These are just my favorites. Now, here are the rules. These are obviously all just going to be my favorite movies of all time. Well, not going to be in the exact order of how I rate the movies, just, the order of how fun the location looks and just how much I want to visit it. We're only going to be including fictional locations, of course, so any movie that was set in a real location will not be included. Or even if you would say it's just one, or it's still cool, no. It's a real location, I can visit at any time, it doesn't count. And I'm only going to be focusing on how nice they are, without taking a glimpse into some of the more crazy stuff, because all these locations have a serious incident that occurs in them throughout the movie, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'm only going to focus on how they are overall without any of those incidents involved. Just how they are if there were no incidents, how they were overall as a nice place that would be nice if it weren't for those, catastrophes. But yeah, just some nice fun stuff. Let's look. Hill Valley. Now, some people might think that Hill Valley really exists, but if you do think that Hill Valley is a real place that does exist, you could not be more wrong, and you're stupid. I won't call it that. Hill Valley is a fictional area from Back to the Future movies. What Hill Valley is just some small little city where lots of fun locations are involved. It's where all three movies are set, and they all have their fun little timeline. In the 50s, Hill Valley was a fun 50s style place with all the 50s stuff you can think of. In the 80s, it was all good old Hill Valley. Nice place that really does have a good shine, Has nice people and also has rude people all mixed together. It's a nice place in the future with the flying cars and hoverboards and all that shit you thought you would see. But at the same time, it's still cool to, look back at how nice Hill Valley's always been. Even in the 1800s, it looked nice. Hill Valley's just that iconic little area that's such a nice pattern, with the big clock tower in the middle and all the fun locations like diners or other places in the between. And while it is more realistic, at the same time, is it? I mean, you really wouldn't ever find a city this well organized and just well timeline. It always has a rough timeline. This Hill Valley's timeline is definitely something else. It's just so fun to see how well this city has evolved, and I would love to have seen the town in real life. The only place you can visit the town in real life is at Universal Studios all the way in California, where they filmed it. But other than that, you kind of just have to look at how they are in the movies. Middle Earth. Another realistic style place. What makes Middle Earth very unique is how it's all based around how hobbits are. It's hobbit size, Basically every house is small and all sorts of stuff, whatever. If it weren't for Sauron, this would really be a nice place. There's no technology, sure, but there is a lot of fun to see from all the hobbits and all the other people there. Because they all do seem to live a fun life when they're not chasing after an evil golems and orcs and having to destroy... I hate when I do that. Oh, hold on. Double sneeze, am I right? Anyway, Middle Earth is fun because, it's not your typical world. What makes Lord of the Rings so amazing is how it's set in a fictional universe. Like, Middle Earth isn't just a country, it is a whole different universe. This universe, you don't have any cars, any TV or stuff. You just have a bunch of hobbits and stuff like to get up and dance with each other and do lots of other fun stuff. Live a medieval style. It's medieval style, but still lots of fun. So yeah, again, when you're not trying to destroy a ring or get chased by orcs or other evil stuff, you're chilling, you're eating, you're dancing, you're getting along with people, you're enjoying the fun life, you know? And yeah, maybe you don't have all that fun tech stuff, but come on, sometimes you don't always need it. Amity Island. Okay, yeah, you could argue that, well, there's a killer shark. Why would I want to be at a beach with a killer shark? Well, like I said in the intro, none of this will be based on the actual incidents that occur. So let's just take a look at how nice Amity Island is when there aren't killer sharks in the area. Amity Island is pretty nice. A really nice beach. Probably the nicest beach I could see. You got all the fun area, you know, some of the nice tension there is to it. And it's the whole atmosphere of it that really does give you the summer vibes. Now, fun fact, I have a grandma who lives near a beach that has a pretty similar vibe to it. And whenever I go there, I always like to watch this movie. This movie always reminds me of those fun summertime when I'm going to the beach. It just has that great summer vibe. See, that's why many people need to consider Jaws a summer hit rather than a horror film. Because considering a horror film means you gotta skip the fears of Halloween. And it is scary at some points, but, you know, it's fun for the summer. You know, you gotta watch this in the summer. That's the best time to watch. You gotta get scared. But yeah, it just gives that fun beach vibe. It's a nice beach. If it weren't for any bad sharks in the area, this beach would be amazing to chill at. So thank you, Jaws. You showed me a nice beach and just watch it get all messed up. The castle from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Really? I went from talking about Middle Earth having no technology or any of that, and now we're talking about this. Well, honestly, it is nice. Disney has had a lot of castles for their careers. I mean, they have a castle at Disney World. So, having a Disney castle isn't necessarily the most simple thing. It's always there. You can see it everywhere. But every movie that does have a castle does have a nice new type of castle. Or always some new style that they have. And this movie is probably the best in my opinion for pretty good reasons. One of the best is how much we get to see it. For most movies, you mostly just have to look at them as paintings. Like Cinderella, for example, you can only really see the castle through the works of painting and stuff. There really isn't much time to glimpse through how much nice stuff there is around it. You know, you can't really get to see the castle more. You mostly just have to look at the exterior and let the rest of it slide. This movie, you can see all sorts of it. You know, you can get inside it, you can see everything. Even for a big height that's like 10 freaking years, it still looks nice to this day. It's a nice place, you know, there's all that fun stuff. There's that big ass CGI ballroom that people ignore the fact that they're seeing in this, because you can see the exterior, but also the interior. Getting the glimpse at both sides really does make this a fun castle to look at. So, as far as Disney castles go, this one's the nicest. The Avengers Tower. Of course, the Avengers Tower. Seeing how this is set in New York City and is so huge, I'm surprised many kids don't get sad that this tower isn't real. I mean, just the way it blends in with the whole New York, it really does separate itself. Like, I mean, I've been to New York City once, and I was kind of disappointed I couldn't see this actual Avengers Tower. It's fake. But anyway, let's talk about the tower itself. It started out as something that Tony Stark owned, but when the Avengers became a big team, it was trademarked to them. This tower features some very fun atmosphere. It's huge, it has lots of great rooms. It's definitely the perfect place to meet up. You know, if I were a superhero, I'd love to play. It's not hidden like the Batcave, but it definitely is a nice place to go. And again, it's a big tower. Everyone in New York City is a big tower, so yeah, you can all get used to big towers. I mean, hey, the Avengers don't hide their identity like Batman does, so it makes sense that they would be out in the open. It's sad that after a while they moved towers, because the new Avengers location that they eventually moved into isn't not as fun in my opinion. I personally think this is the perfect place for the Avengers to camp out. It's just so nice. I'm not gonna say I hate their new what do you call it? I forgot what you call it. I'm not in a good rush. Well, whatever you call it, this was where they definitely deserved to have their most talks. The new one is bland in some ways, but hey, I guess you gotta go with you gotta go with. Yes, we're even talking about the world inside somebody. Yeah, Inside Out is a interesting film featuring a very broad glimpse of different worlds. Inside Out shows all the fun locations that you can find inside your head. Like, imagine inside my head, this is what's happening. That'd be crazy, you know? And while I never really wanted to actually go inside somebody's head because that'd be gross, the way this movie depicts it, I think they really work onto something. Because just looking at this image, you can really tell that going inside someone's head, and seeing all their fun childhood weirdness as different locations in one little head is just so unique. I think this movie is perfect at being colorful and silly, but at the same time still getting that emotion in. This is where I would this is what I would like to see inside me. If I ever get to shrink down and just go inside someone's brain and see all this, that'd be awesome. Unfortunately, this isn't actually how the inside of your brain is. Sorry, kids. I hate to break it to you, but your the inside of you is boring. It's nothing like this. If it were like this, you probably would want to go inside it more, but I guess that'd be weird. So it has to be fake, and this is fake, kids. Sorry, you had to know someday. The ship from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, I forgot what it was called, so maybe I should have done research, but this ship was depicted as what the future would be like. That future being 2001. And while we didn't have something like this exactly in 2001, we did have the International Space Station, which was revolutionary. And nowadays, something like this is possible to have. We don't have it entirely 100%, but it is happening at some point. So we definitely are going to see something like this very, very soon. But for now, let's just look at how it is from the 60s. This is a fun place for all astronauts or other people who live in space to just camp out, chill, have their chill time. I find this lots of fun. Just thinking about being inside that, all up in space, just gives me so much vibes. I always wonder what it'd be like if I actually went to space. I'm not the kind of person who would go to space, but knowing how many people like Jeff Bezos went to space, if that idiot can go to space, then maybe I can too. Who knows? It's possible. Anybody can go to space, really. So if I do finally get to go to space, I will definitely enjoy it. And even though I might not be able to get this kind of experience, I should still enjoy it. But yeah, still, this ship is just so much fun to look at when you look at its side. I mean, of course, there's Hal, who is annoying, but if I just destroyed him, then this would be the perfect place to live. I think this ship really does have something that not a lot of ships you see nowadays in real life do have. Pizza Planet. I know you may be thinking, well, Pizza Planet wasn't used in Toy Story for the big majority of the screen time. While it was just a camp out location, it has become pretty popular and iconic. I mean, it's become one of the big merchandising ways for this movie. You can get shirts that have the Pizza Planet logo like it's a real restaurant, which I do have, by the way. A Pizza Planet shirt. I love that shirt. But yeah, Pizza Planet is still cool. You ever wonder what Chuck E. Cheese would be like if it was way cooler than how it is? No, I'm not hating on Chuck E. Cheese, but after looking at how nice Pizza Planet is, I think Pizza Planet just makes Chuck E. Cheese look like shit. Sorry, I enjoy their pizza and whatever, but Pizza Planet, I wish it were real. Yeah, sure, if you go to Disneyland, you will see a sort of replica of Pizza Planet, but not really. It's nothing like how it is here. This arcade and pizza place themed to space is not only a fun, ironic thing for Buzz, but I just really would love to do this, okay? From all of the arcade pizza places I've been to, there's Chuck E. Cheese, there's Dave and Buster's, there's Adventure Landing. You never heard of it? It's in my state only. But never have I seen anything like Pizza Planet should be. Please, I want to go to Pizza Planet. Take me there. I may be 17, but I'm not. I don't feel like I should be too old to enjoy games and all that fun that this little place has. So I'm still perfect. I still want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, but how about instead of going to Chuck E. Cheese, I go here. I want to go here. Jurassic Park. A world run by dinosaurs. All dinosaurs you can see.
Now, yeah, sure, it went downhill and was only for one movie, but let's just talk about how it is before. Let's focus on if the people who worked there weren't so stupid and if the dinosaurs were better trained. Then Jurassic Park would be the best thing ever. This park, located on an island, is just amazing. The fact that dinosaurs, real dinosaurs, are walking around from some DNA shit, now that's something I would get hyped for if it were real. The only time you can find a Jurassic Park at Universal Orlando, but it's not the same. Yeah, it's nice, a nice replica, but there aren't any real dinosaurs. It's just all that animatronic stuff. And still, I think that maybe this is perfect enough. I mean, Universal is a theme park, which are fun, but just this having real dinosaurs and actually be a fun science lesson in the process, I think it's something that not a lot of theme parks would have. So that's just what makes Jurassic Park so nice. Real dinosaurs combined with some actual history learning. And I gotta say, I maybe some scientists or whatever would say this movie's logic is stupid, but I'm not a scientist, so I think the logic is perfect. And yeah, I've had science classes, but even from all of what I learned, I think this movie's logic of how they bring dinosaurs to life makes sense in some ways. It may not be realistic, but why does it have to be? Jurassic Park is what it is, okay? If you want to question it, then get out. Let's go ahead and glimpse into the Death Star. It looks small in some shots, but when you go through and zoom, it is way bigger than you think. Huge. It's huge. And you know what? I love the Death Star because not just because of how huge it is, but how well organized it is. Living on a thing that's certainly called a space station that moves and whatever is just perfect. I was gonna go with the Star Destroyer, which I might have probably done, but considering how much more iconic and more of a location the Death Star is just amazing in my opinion. Even though it is a weapon that's used to destroy planets, actually living inside it and, getting to move around, see all that, go enjoy all that fun atmosphere, that's what the Death Star is all about. It's spacious, it's got lots of room. Maybe it used most of the room to power its generator, but from what we see inside the Death Star, I like it. I would just always love almost every ship in Star Wars. I think I would love to go inside. Okay, because I'm a big freaking Star Wars fanatic. It's just my thing. So yeah, I want to go inside the Death Star. I want to go inside the Star Destroyer, the Millennium Falcon, all the Star Wars ships out there. And this one is just a nice example. So yeah, a Star Wars fan puts his Death Star at number one on his list of favorite movie locations. What a surprise.
Now, I said I was in a good mood earlier, but now I'm getting tired. It's pretty late. Well, according to how old I am and where I live, it's kind of late. You know. Maybe it's not late, I don't know, but I'm gonna go to bed. Today's been rough. And I guess I will dream about these locations and maybe I can actually do experience one of them through my dreams. However, it's pretty likely that I'm instead going to dream about, I don't know, this thing talking to me and dancing or singing or whatever. Seriously. I hate it when people say that your dream always has a meaning. Bullshit. That's what I say. No. I'm going off topic, but if you have a dream that actually relates to your life, then your dreams are so unique, okay? All these movies have dreams that relate to the person's issues, but really, in reality, there's no way. I don't know. It's rare. It's rare. It's possible. Just, it's rare, okay? For the most part, you're just going to dream about, I don't know, this book coming to life or this penny being thrown at you 24/7. Shit's crazy.